Good afternoon, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. Now if you're new around here, that name TriathlonDan might indicate what I mostly do. However, I also do quite a lot of crit racing, road racing, time trialing, and now apparently gravel racing. So if any of those tickle your fancy, please do hit a subscribe button down below. We've got lots of events planned this year, starting with none less than the Dirty Reaver in 6 weeks, which is 200 kilometers of gravel riding, hence this bike. So let me jump straight into it then. This is my brand new Canyon Grizl CF-SL7. I'm going to talk you through the spec, why I bought this exact bike. Before we get to that, quick disclaimer, it might shock you to learn that Canyon have not signed me alongside Hayden Wild and Lionel Sanders, so this video is in no way sponsored. I bought this with my semi-hard-earned money. So the CF-SL7 sits pretty much bang in the middle of the Grizl range, and I'm a pretty bang in the middle pack bike rider, so that is absolutely fine. Let's start from the frame and work ourselves out. So CF indicates carbon fibre, so this frame is the carbon fibre model. It does sit below the CF SLX, so the carbon is not quite as stiff and it's not quite as light as the higher model frame, but it is still fairly light for what it is, and it is a very nice carbon frame. Now I am 6 feet and 2 inches, those are not two measurements, and that is a genuine height, not a Tinder bio height, and this is a size large frame. Canyons in the last few years have got quite a bit bigger. I have an Endurace, which I bought in 2017, and that is a size extra large, so this is a size smaller than that, but it is actually 14 millimeters longer, so not a huge amount, but this has a 2 centimeter shorter stem as well, so the bikes have just got bigger. It's the same for the on-road stuff that is on the off-road, so size large. I triple checked it on the size guide, spoke to various people who've got them, and this was the right size for me. I've sat on it and I've sized it all up versus my current bikes, and it seems to fit. So the colour, I know it looks pink, that's because it is pink. The colour is Wild Berry Splatter. Now if I'm honest, when I saw this colour on the website, I thought, that's not quite for me. But somebody at work brought one in a few weeks ago, and it really grew on me. I absolutely loved it in the flesh. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to give this a go. And now, with the stock shortages in the cycling world, there wasn't a huge range to choose from. But actually, I'm so glad I've got this bike in this colour. I've sort of lent towards having blue bikes over the last few years, and I do love blue, but I do want to start mixing it up a little bit. So yeah, Wild Berry Splatter. It's a really matte effect paint, so I don't think it'll mark too easy. It'll be muddy very soon, I'm sure, and all these little like splatter bits just make it look a little bit different from the norm, don't they? So yeah, I really like it, but I know it's going to be individual. So the group set is actually awaiting a chain. I'm awaiting NRG chains to bling my drivetrain up with a wax chain and some ceramic bearing jockey wheels, hence the no chain at the moment. So it is a SRAM Rival ETAP 1x group set with the Explorer rear mech, so it can take a bigger cassette. So it's 1x, so one chainring, it's a 40 tooth on the front, and then the rear cassette is 12 speeds, so it's got 12 gears. The smallest sprocket is a 10, and the biggest is a 44. That means that first gear is really low, and then when I'm in the 10 sprocket, in the 12th gear, I can pedal at 90 RPM up to about 28 miles an hour. So it's a really wide range there. I know I'm going to lose some of the incremental jumps that you get with a 2x setup, but for the off-road purpose, I'm not going to be doing 28 miles an hour very often at all. So this seems absolutely fine. I also really like that the SRAM wireless group set is backwards compatible. So I've got ETAP 11 speed on another bike, and I've got a spare front mech. So I can put that front mech on this hanger, sync it up to the shifters, and if I get a 2x chain set, I can change that as well, so that should be good. With it being a large frame, it's come with a 175mm cranks, which I do ride anyway. The shifters feel good, I have turned them in slightly as per gravel rules, and yeah, it feels good. The hydraulic discs come with 160mm rotors. I've only pushed it around the dining room, and it seems to stop pretty well, so I'll see how it works on the road in a few weeks. The handlebars it came with were 44cm wide, and they were more of like a normal road shape than they are like a gravel flared shape. I have actually swapped those out. 44 is far too wide for me. I ride a 40cm and I feel pretty comfy at that, so that's what I've swapped to. But yeah, it came with 44s. The seat post is the Canyon VCLS seat post. This is a split design, so it's actually like in two pieces and it bolts together at the bottom of the seat post. I've got one of these on my Endurace. I absolutely love it. It soaks up all that road buzz. It feels weird if you're not used to it, because it feels like your seat post is moving a little bit, because it is. So yeah, it really absorbs those bumps, and I can only imagine that that's going to be even more beneficial off-road. The wheels are DT Swiss G1800. These are an alloy wheel set. They're pretty budget, to be honest, which is absolutely fine for the intended purpose. When you buy a bike like this, there's always you're getting a higher spec in one area, which I think is the frame and maybe the group set, and a lower spec in other areas just to balance that value out. I am swapping these wheels out. I do think they're okay for training, but I've got quite a few faster events planned this year on this, so I'm hoping that some better wheels will bring big gains. These come highly recommended though, they're supposed to be pretty bomb proof. They also come with the Schwalbe G1 Byte 45mm tyres. They're set up clincher, the wheels are tubeless compatible. I think I might leave these set up clincher and use these as they are for training, or I might put some road tyres on these and use it on the road a little bit. I'm not entirely sure at the minute, but it's nice to have options. The saddle is a Physique Argo and it's a gravel specific saddle. I know, what does that even mean? Well, from what I can gather, there's a fair bit more padding than there is on a normal saddle, and the nose looks ever so slightly stumpier. I don't know as if that actually makes it any better for gravel riding or not, but I'm going to give it a go. I've set it all up in the right shape, and the saddle shape looks a similar shape to the saddles that I ride on the road, so I'm going to give it a go and see how we go. The other things on the frame, so this frame seems really suited to adventure riding. Now, although this year all I have planned are quite a lot of long gravel rides and maybe some off-road gravel triathlons, I might want to do some sort of bike packing in the future. So I wanted to future-proof myself with this bike, knowing that it's capable enough to do all that. So the clearance is good enough for bigger tyres than these, only slightly bigger, but bigger. There are bolts all over the frame, so on the forks, underneath the bottom bracket, loads of places where you can bolt things, mudguard mounts, those sorts of things. Like, it can do a lot of things. I might not do all those things it can do, but at least I know I'm not going to have to change my bike if I do want to go sleeping in a bivvy in the middle of Derbyshire somewhere for a night or two. I don't know, but the frame seems really capable. I did deliberate between this and the, what's the other one, Canyon Grail, which is supposed to be the more racier bike, but I did lean towards more towards this because of those reasons. There's also little things like on the top tube here, I can bolt a top tube bag to that, so triathletes will know, you're a fan of a big top tube bag, great, but they slide around a little bit, they rub the frame and stuff, whereas these actually bolt onto it, so that's absolutely perfect for the intended purpose. It's also got things like the big rubber protector on the chainstay so the chain slap doesn't damage the frame. I'm going to put some heli tape on it in the right places so I don't get any gravel rash and stuff. But yeah, you can probably tell I'm not an expert in off-road bikes, so please do let me know down below what you would suggest to change on this. I have made some changes already. You might have spotted a few things on this bike. I'm going to be doing another video where I talk about all those changes I've made. But if there's anything that you would change to suit the intended purpose of riding gravel rides and gravel races, please do let me know. But I'm hoping that it will ride like a road bike, but I will just ride it off-road, is what I'm hoping. You can probably tell I'm also just really excited to ride this bike because I haven't had a new bike for a few years now, so really excited to get out there. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.